Before operating the saw, ensure you're wearing and using the appropriate personal protective equipment, meeting your local standards or policies. For more information, refer to page 2 of the user manual. Before using the rail saw, it is essential to prepare the cutting environment properly. Remove the ballast approximately 15 centimeters from beneath the rail foot. When changing or fitting the disc, first fit the blotter to the backing flange. Place the rail disc in a likewise manner, ensuring that only discs specified for cutting railway lines are used. Fit the outer blotter to the disc, and then place and secure the outer flange by tightening the locking nut. The tightening torque, as stated in the manual on page 11, is 20 to 25 Newton meters. To ensure a precise and accurate cut, mark the rail where the cut is to take place. Fit the arm to the rail according to the cutting reference, checking that the 4 contact points of the arm are securely placed on the rail before tightening. Rocking the arm slightly when tightening may help. Priming and starting the saw on the ground is recommended. First, press the decompression button. Extend the choke in case the engine is cold. Otherwise, leave the choke pin fully inserted. Interlock the accelerator lever, hold the saw with one foot and pull the starting rope. After 2 to 3 pulls, push the choke pin back in and keep pulling the starting rope. Rev the engine to warm it up and stop it once complete. Once primed, pick up the saw by the upper handle and place one hand underneath as shown. Line up the shaft and pinion gear accurately and check that the fit is correct. Push in the lever and tighten the thread. This process fixes the rail saw to the automatic arm. After mounting and before operating the saw, ensure that all handles have been tightened correctly, including the arm's locking hand wheel, the rail saw locking handle, the accelerator lever, and the stabilizer levers if used. Check the arm spring setting as well. 15 is the most common setting. In the case that the rail saw turns off or the engine tends to turn itself off shortly after starting the cut at the railhead level, decrease the cutting force by rotating the ring a couple of turns towards the higher values. In the case that the rail saw turns slowly or stops towards the end of the cut, jamming at the intersection between the rail web or rail foot, increase the cutting force by rotating the ring a couple of turns towards the lower values. Before beginning an automatic cut, ensure the auxiliary switching device is with the operator or a designated safety observer. Once primed and warmed up, start the engine. Engage the accelerator lever fully and lock into position. The automatic mode is now engaged. Support the rear of the automatic arm, lifting it slightly so as to release the inside locking pin. Slowly and gently lower the rail disc to the rail. Once engaged, you may then move to a safe distance away from the saw. The recommended distance is around 5 meters. Hold the auxiliary switching device in your hand and observe the complete cutting process. The saw will automatically stop once complete. If any risk or concern occurs during the cutting process, immediately press the stop button on the auxiliary switching device. Once the unit is stopped, approach the saw, apply a quick safety check and return the saw to its original starting position by lifting the back and engaging the locking pin. If cutting from the other side is required, do not change the position of the clamp. Simply take the rail saw off of the arm, pull the interface group locking pin, and then rotate the interface group, clockwise or anti-clockwise. Slightly lift the saw, release the two locking pins, and flip the arm to the opposite side. Ensure that the spring arm is correctly placed. Re-engage the inner pin, and then rotate the auto arm body to engage the outside pin. Fit the rail saw back to the arm and tighten the lever. To complete the cut in automatic mode, simply hold the arm by hand. Release the inside pin and lower the saw gently onto the rail. Move to a safe distance, and with the auxiliary switching device in hand, observe the completion of the cut. To complete the cut manually, start the saw, disengage the inner, and in this case the outer locking pin on the auto arm. Support the unit by hand and oscillate the unit to complete the cut. When the machine is used in manual mode, the weight of the machine is still supported by the arm. Therefore, the operator needs only to move the saw up and down without feeling the weight. Before lifting the machine, wait until the disc has stopped moving. When refueling, ensure you're at least 3 meters away from the cutting environment, and that when done, the unit is wiped down properly as to clean any possible spillage. The rail saw is provided with a diagnostic system, depending on the number of hours of operation, will warn the operator with an audible alarm that the air filters require maintenance. Once the filters have been maintained, reset the diagnostic system by pressing the reset button on the remote 3 times when the alarm is active. To cut manually, fit the arm to the rail according to the cutting reference. Once primed, pick up the saw, line up the shaft accurately, push in the lever and tighten the thread. Start the saw, support the unit by hand and oscillate the unit to complete the cut. Be sure to store and transport the RoboKatta saw and arm in the custom cases supplied with each unit to protect them from any damage in transit.